Hello guys, I'm Ofshad and welcome to Java programming tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be addressing creating a Java FX login application, and I'll be creating the UI and also doing button events, handling with Lambda Expression and method reference, then connecting to the database and also doing the login counter, the trial counter for login. So create a new project, Java FX application, and I'm going to name that login project and just click enter. Alright, so I'll be taking out the fxml file and the controller file, and also this line. Alright, in this tutorial I'll be using a VBox layout to handle my contents in the program, in the interface. So let's say VBox root because new VBox and I'll set the spacing between the items in the VBox and the border to 10. So just can see root.set padding and new insets, just gonna give that 10. Alright, I'm also gonna set the alignment to center because I prefer everything to be in the middle. So root.set alignment, I've explained this in the previous tutorials. Alright, now I'm going to add a text field to handle the username, a password field for the password, a button to control the login, and a label to show the output if the login detail is correct or not. So first things first, the text field. You see text field javafx.scene.control, and we're gonna name that username field equals new text field, and in here I just want to, okay, I can add a tooltip text. So just click username field dot set tooltip, I guess, yeah, set tooltip. And you can say username. Cannot be applied. Okay, let's leave that out for now. And for the password field, password field equals new password field. Yep. Next, the button, login button equals new, and yep. So in here I'm just going to say login / or sign in, whatever you want to use there. Okay, and finally the label or the text, whatever you want to use. I'm just going to say label, output label, and in I'm just going to say this displays the output. For now, that will be it. So I'm gonna add all these elements, these 4 elements I've created here: the text field, the password field, the button, and the login, and the label to the v box. So I'm just gonna say root that gets children, and we're adding all together. Let me say username field, our password field, login button, and finally our output label. So if we should run our code at this point, I want the width to be 300 and the height to be 150. Alright, so if we should run this now, we would find every element which we have created in the program. So as you can see here, we have username text field, and the text in it is visible. We have our password field, and we also have our login sign-in button, and also the output label. Now the VBox layout arranges everything, all the elements vertically. Okay, I want to change my title to login app. Alright, now we're done with building the UI. Next is to add the event to the events handler to the button, like I said here, button event handling. So first of all, I'll be showing you how to use Lambda Expression to do the button event handling. The Lambda Expression allows you add the actions direct to the button to be used, while the method reference allows you create when you create the method separately, then you add the method to the button events. So you can use just one method for 3 or 4 buttons. Meanwhile, in the Lambda expression, you can only use one. You can only set the code once for one button, so you have to set all buttons one after the other. But in the method reference, you can easily just create a method to fix the login or fix the actions for different buttons. So first, we're using the Lambda expression. So I'm going to say login button, that sets on action, and in here I'm just going to say e minus the greater than sign, and boom, the braces. So automatically, as you can see, it says event handler action events. Now this is how the Lambda event handling works. So I can easily just tell the system what to do inside this section here between the braces. So I'm going to say, because I want to try validating if the username and the password are same as the username and password I'll be setting. So I'm going to come up here and just set private static string and calling that user equals username and okay, and another string, just copy and paste that, and this time we'll have the password. I'm going to say password. Alright, so in our button action events, we're first going to pull the information from the username field and password field. So I'm going to say string username equals username field dot get text, and same as the password, password field dot get text also. Now we're going to use an if statement to verify if they are both equal strings, using dot equals method and understring handling strings. Just can say if, and this is what the system will do if this is correct. So I'm going to say if username dot equals user and password dot equals pass, right? Now the double ampersand sign here is the same thing as saying and in plain English. Now if they are both the same, that is, if the username I'm going to input and the username in the and this string username is the same, and the password I'm going to input says password, then definitely I want our output label to say user details are correct. Now if not, I want my output label now else I want my output label to say user details are incorrect. Right? Alright, let's run this and see what we have. So I'm going to enter a correct username and password and login. So it says user details are correct, but I'm going to change this to official HUD, and same here, official HUD. It says user details are incorrect. So the Lambda expression worked in handling the validation. Next I'm going to use the method reference. So we're just going to create a new method. I'm just going to say up here, create a new method, private void. I'm going to say this, call this handle login action. It's an action event, right? So I'm going to call this events. Now I'm just going to copy and paste the same thing I want this to do, same thing in here, and I'm going to take it out this time around because I no longer want all this here. Oh shoot. Okay. And this time around I'm going to pull all this out. Yep, I'm going to put them right beneath here so they can be accessed generally in the application. Alright, so after creating the method to handle the event, right? This is the method, private void handle button, handle login, and I said action events, and blah 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 blah. So next I'm going to just say in my login button dot set on action, I'm just gonna say undo login, and nope, I don't need all this. Yep. Did I spell that well? This is where the problem is. Okay, I'm gonna take that out. So we say class I want is javafx.event. So I'll just take this part out. Yep, set on action, handle login. Okay, this undo login. Alright, now that is fixed. So if we run our file now, and I say username and password, and I click login, user details are correct, enter something else, and I say login, user details are incorrect. So basically that is how to use the method reference and the lambda button action. So I'm just going to change this back to my lambda button action, lambda expression. Sorry, I have to do that. I prefer it because it's why I wanted this tutorial. I'm just going to correct a lot of things. Boom. Alright. So next thing we're going to do is connect our program to a database. I'll be using Sqlite database engine, and you can download that from I'm gonna use Sqlite Studio. So you can just go to the page here, sqlitestudio.pl, and download the installer file and also the jar file for the library, that is Sqlite JDBC. You can just go from bitbucket.org, serial Sqlite JDBC downloads and others. So now first we're going to add the jar file into the library. So I'm just going to come here and say open library settings, and in my jar files, right, okay, under my SDKs I can add my jar file here. So just go to my downloads folder, yep, and downloads, okay. Alright, so in my downloads folder, I'm just going to search for Sqlite.jar and okay, here it is. Sqlite JDBC 3.2.3.21.0.jar. I'll just select that and click OK. That's what I want, so I'm just going to say OK to that also. Now I've added the connection file. Next, I have to create my database and also add a little bit of data into the database so I can access the data from the program. So I'll just go to my Sqlite and click on database, add the database, and I'm just going to create a new database, right? Yep. So I'll just go to the project folder and add my database there in the project folder. So I'm going to say this PC and yep, documents, is it? Oops, not documents. Alright, let's see users and idea projects. That is where I'm going to. Alright, idea project, and we have login project. So in here I can just create a new file and I'm going to call it user details and oops, cancel. I'm just going to do this. This PC. Basically, it's preferable to save your database in your project file for easy access. I'm just gonna name it user details and save. So okay, and I'm going to create a new table now. I'm going to call this the login table, right? Add a column, say username, and it's a text, okay? So I'm going to add another column and call it password, also a text, and save. Okay, thanks. So in here I'm just gonna add the username. I want my username to be official space hot and password same thing and save. Oh, commit changes. Whatever. Alright, so back to my program. I'm gonna have to create a method for connecting to the database. I have added my SQL driver, so I'm just going to create a method to connect to the database and also drive it. So right here, take this out, I don't need you any longer. Alright, I'm creating a method for my database, so I'm just going to say public, because it's a public method, right? Static static connection java.sql. Yes, that's the one. And I'm just gonna call this database connection. Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna try and catch. I'm gonna create a try and catch block in case of any errors, and I'm going to catch an exception error and just call that E. Now e.print stack trace, just in case there are any errors. The error is just going to output in the system normal regular output stuff. So and I'm going to return null. I'm not going to return anything in this catch block. Meanwhile, in the try block, I'm going to say class dot for name, right? Yep, for name. And now I'm using Sqlite, so I'm just going to call an Sqlite driver, and it's going to say org.sqlite. org.sqlite. As you can see, it's already here. I'm going to say .jdbc. I'm driving a JDBC. Okay, next I'm going to say connection con, or we can just call this connect, whatever you want to call it, equals and driver manager to drive the connection, get connection. Yep. And where are we getting the connection from? Now, since it is already in the project file, we can simply use the name alone without using the long parts and all that. So I'm going to say JDBC colon and SQLite, and what was the name of our database? It said user details, right? So it's just going to say user details.db. Now we can check the location to actually see the real name of the file and the file type. So I'm just gonna go here and properties. So it says .db. That is correct. So we said username.db, right? So I'm just gonna say return connect. Thank you. Now we have tried to connect to the database. Let me add one more statement so we know if our database is connecting or not. System dot out dot print data base connected. So after starting our program, I'm just going to say okay to test. Now we're trying to test if our database is actually connected or not. So we're going to run main and see if it gives us any errors or it connects to the database. Okay, so our program says database connected. This means the connection to the database is established. Next, we're going to validate from our database. We're going to check for data in the database and use to validate the login. So up here, I'm just going to say connection connect. Yep. Prepared statements PST and a result set RST. Okay, I think I should just say for now it's empty. For now empty, and for now empty. Alright, so in our validation here, I'm just going to take this out. No, I'm not going to take that out yet. I'm just going to create a try and catch block. Or since I have my system throwing an exception already, I'll still have to use the try and catch block. So anyways, so I'm going to say try and catch Now this time around we're catching an SQL exception, right? So I'm just gonna say SQL exception and don't bother yet. Okay, let's say ex dot print stack trace and leave that. So here we're going to say string SQL. That's our SQL string, the statement for the SQL. Now next we're going to say PST equals con dot prepare the statement SQL, right? And next we're going to say rs equals pst dot execute, yep, rst rather, result set rst equals prepare statement dot execute query, yep, this is it. Okay, now in our SQL statement we want to select the column that says that the username and the password is the same as the username and password the user is going to enter. So I'm just going to say select all, that is star from login, right? Yep, the table name is login. Okay, where username equals question mark. Username equals what? That's a property. And password equals what also. So after preparing the statement, now we're going to first set the first property to set string. Now the first property, which is the username, we're going to set it username, right? Now the next property is the password, yep. And yeah, now we're going to bring all this into our try and catch block and change this time around to rst if rst dot next. Now that is if it is true, then the details are correct, but if it is false, the details are wrong. So I'm going to change this from just the database connect to connect equals database connect. Now run the program. Alright, here we are. I have set the username as official word, same as the password, so we're just going to use that to try the program. Official word and typo error here, same, don't make any mistakes. Now login, user details are correct. Now if we try something different, and let's say whatever, and login, you can see user details are incorrect. Now that is that about connecting your JavaFX programs to your database and also validating login. Finally, we're going to deal with login trial counter. Now if you notice in your iOS or Android device, whenever you input the password wrongly, probably twice or about 5 times, the device stops you from trying again for about 10 to 15 seconds, right? And tells you to try again. Now that's what we're going to do here, and in this case I'm going to use a timer. I'm going to create a timer method that will delay for about 5 seconds and then ask you to try again. So go to the top, right, and I'm going to create my timer here. So just as we've created the connection, I'm going to create the same for timer and private void timer. Alright, now creating two long variables, that is the start point and the end point. Long start equals system dot current milliseconds, current time in milliseconds, right? And the endpoint, so end equals system starts, right, plus I'm going to add, before I do this endpoint, I'm going to create two other variables here. The first is the login attempt, and that's going to be an integer property, and the next is the maximum attempt. So I'm going to say private final, okay, static integer property, yep, I'm going to call this login attempt, okay, equals new simple integer property. Now the next is the maximum attempts. I'm just going to use a regular integer, private int max attempt, okay, and I'm just going to give that the number 2, okay. So now that would be the maximum attempts 2. So in our timer method, I can say long end equals start plus maximum attempts, right, times 1000. Okay, so the end point will be the start point, that is regularly 0, plus 2, which is the maximum attempt, times 1000. Now 1000 milliseconds is 1 second, so 2000 milliseconds is 2 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to increase this to 5. So we have 5 seconds. So now I'm going to say while system dot current time is less than the endpoint, okay, I want the thread to pause, or I can always leave it empty also. Yep, I can leave that empty for now. I'm just gonna leave it empty, or should I? Yep, let's just leave that empty for now. we're gonna add more details later on. So in our else section over here, that is whenever the user has entered a wrong password, okay, we're going to increase the login attempts by 1. So if I entered my password the first time and it is wrong, the login attempt increases by 1. If I entered it again the second time and it is wrong, it increases also by +1. So I'm just going to say login attempts dot set, and we're going to say login attempts dot add, and we're adding the value 1. Let's get. Now here we have told the computer that whenever the user inputs the wrong password, then the system should add 1 to the login attempt. And next we're going to say once the login attempt gets to about 3 or 5, I'm just going to use 3 for now. Once I have tried logging in 3 times and I have inputted the wrong password, then the system should count 5 seconds before allowing me continue. I hope you understand what I said. I'll show you. So I'm going to say if login attempts dot get now is greater than the value 2, okay, that means whenever I've tried my password more than twice and it is wrong, then the system should do what? First of all, I want to deactivate the username and the password fields, so you cannot try to edit the information. This shows you that for now you can edit. So I'm just going to say username field dot set editable, right? And we're saying false, and same for the password field, false. Now this stops you from editing the username field or password field for now. I want to say the period of time which it will be deactivated is when we call in the timer method, okay. So the username and password field will be deactivated for 5 seconds, which the timer is set to. So next we're going to activate it back. So I'm just going to see, I'll just copy this and paste here and change this to true, okay. Alright, and now I'm just going to tell you to try again, okay. So output text, set text, and I'm going to say please try again. Alright, so run your program, and we're going to enter the wrong password twice. Put username and password, okay. So I'm going to say hard instead of official hard. Now this is the first time it says user details are incorrect. This is the second time it says user details are incorrect also. Now this is the third time. You can see there is a pause in the system, and 5 seconds later it says please try again, okay. So whenever you try, for example, let's try one more time, it waits for 5 seconds again and it says please try again also. So whenever you enter the wrong password more than twice, the system takes a pause for 5 seconds, right? yep for 5 seconds and then asks you to try again. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you understood everything. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. Thanks and have a nice day.